YouTubers. He is a best-selling author whose new book is called On Democracies and Death Cults. Douglas Murray to my left. To my right, an editor-at-large of Reason Magazine and co-host of the Fifth Column podcast, Matt Welch, and she is a Democratic senator from Minnesota, Tina Smith. Okay. Here are the questions from the actual people. For Douglas, what is your reaction to the UK Supreme Court declaring that the definition of a woman is, well, we should include you in this, too. It's about women, is based on biological sex and excludes transgender people. Yeah, this was a big ruling this week in England. The Supreme Court, their definition of woman is biological sex.
Alrighty, the unfiltered take here is a conversation that cuts right to the heart of something we've all seen the last few years. What's real, what's political, and what's happening when common sense gets lost in the noise. Bill Maher's panel got into biology, parents' rights, and even RFK Jr.'s autism debate. So here's the part that stood out. Let's watch it together.
To put it in shorthand, J.K. Rowling won.
Yes. J.K. Rowling won. Everyone who said this for years has won. All the, particularly women who've been defamed and lied about and bullied and chased and much more for years, they were right. And I just think, apart from being a statement of the obvious, isn't it amazing that the best legal minds in Britain spent years having to work out the first thing we knew as a species?
But just to be clear, we're not saying there's not such a thing as trans, right? We're not saying there's not such a thing as someone who is, quote unquote, born in the wrong body.
I don't think people get born in the wrong body now.
Oh, I do.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a default setting for humans.
Yeah.
Like, we should acknowledge that. It's not just every time there's a baby, ooh, who knows what the fuck it is. That's crazy. But there are...
Beyond me, yeah.
But there are variations.
There are variations.
Homosexuality.
That's right. It's a continuum.
And then, you know, but it's how we handle that.
That's
you know?
right.
I mean, and I think we would agree that, you know, children, and this is where America is now an outlier country. We're the only country that went full, and I guess Trump is reversing it, but certainly under Biden, who went fully toward that. Like, we don't care what age, kids can self-diagnose themselves. I mean, that to me was going way too far on this. Again, nobody just comes back to the sensible center.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the sensible center is that, like, you respect people, You
know, right here is what most people actually feel. Respect individuals, keep the biology and the policies grounded in reality. The sensible center is not extreme, it's not partisan, it's common sense. And it's interesting how often the middle ground gets ignored in the wider conversation.
Trust parents. You let parents figure out what to do with their kids, and you don't need a bunch of politicians in Washington making decisions.
That is not the Democratic position, at least here in California.
Well, that's my position.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's where the Democratic Party should. That is not the position that we've had here in California, which is like, don't tell the parents what the kids are doing at school. That's a whole, and that you really alienate voters.
Yeah.
Parents are voters. When you're not a parent yet, you know, it's like, oh, voting, whatever, you know.
Sex is not a spectrum. I mean, it's male and female. There are some people with very unusual conditions who deserve absolute sympathy and support. But that does not mean that we're a hermaphroditic species. We're just not.
No, but
that's not it.
No, not the whole species. But this goes back, I mean, I don't want to use the term chicks with dicks, but I could.
You did.
I mean... This goes back to like ancient Rome, and like there was always people who were like not quite one.
It's not hard to get to toleration and acceptance without rewriting biology.
Right.
That's
right.
It's a norm. That's your normal
Yeah. What is the legacy of Paul Revere's Midnight Ride, which was 250 years ago today? The fact that no under 40 knows what the fuck I'm talking about. That's the legacy of that.
Maybe 60.
Yeah, right.
Maybe 60.
Well, maybe the legacy is that we decided we didn't want a king, and oh, what the fuck, here we have one.
Right. There you go. What does the panel think of RFK Jr. announcing he will find the cause of autism by September of this year?
I think it's when OJ finds the real killer. I think it's.
Well, he's dead, so that's not going to happen. Well, I would say, this is why people think he's a quack, because you're not going to put a date on something they've been looking into for 30 years.
That's right.
And say, we're going to have it by September. It's not going to be, oh, it's the gummy bears.
But that might be something. That might be something you say if you think you already know the answer to the question you're asking and you're going to deliver the answer in September,
he
right?
did speak on, what I read in the paper is he did speak on it this week. And I did not agree with the point of view of the article I was reading, which was that he's completely crazy because he was saying it's not mostly genetic, it's mostly environmental toxins.
See, right here, this is another real divide we've been seeing for years. Some people say autism is purely genetic. Others say the environmental factors matter. Labeling and arguments, whether you agree with RFK Jr. or not, the bigger point is always the same. Transparency and open discussion should never be controversial.
I happen to believe that's probably a more likely answer. And they were saying, well, no, genetics. And of course, genetics is involved in everything health-wise. But to present the argument I saw framed in that way, that he's a kook because he thinks it's coming. I mean, environmental toxins is really the story of my lifetime. I'm glad I was born as old as I am at a time when everything wasn't completely polluted. I think that's why I'm still alive today. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And I mean,
But Bill, the air is less polluted, the water is less polluted. As countries get richer, they pollute less. When they're industrializing, they pollute more. There might be individual environmental toxins, yes, but as a broad description of the status of OECD countries, we are polluting on net less.
it depends on where you live, first of all.
Yeah.
That's right.
Out here in California, I believe I'm breathing in the fire still. The fire burned a lot of this city, and a lot of this city had plastic in their home. And we were already getting, they say, a credit card's worth of plastic in our body on a weekly basis. So I don't know what you're talking about, like it's better than it used to be.
I'm talking about I can see the mountains from Long Beach, which I couldn't growing up. I mean, we pass rules, we do cleaner tech over time, and all rich countries do this. It is a process. It's a whole theory of the case called the Kuznets curve. It's a thing. It's worth reflecting on and respecting too.
If you're watching on a TV or your phone, let me know what stood out to you the most: the biology discussion, the parents' rights argument, or the RFK environmental debate. I always read the comments.